ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and see that we are going. Okay. Okay. Go ahead and do that. Good stuff. All right. Let's go. So we will go ahead and just continue. Everything looks like it is going perfectly. I will go ahead and like my own video because that's always a good sign. Okay. Here we go. So, let me okay. So, this is my old red ship, which is now inside my big black ship, and it's been accidentally recolored, and I built this a very long time ago. Oh my god. Please forgive me, I'm playing on normal FOV, so everybody doesn't die looking at my computer. Or at my stream. Okay. So, basically this is the interior. It's complete trash. So we're just gonna fix it up today and completely pretty much tear everything out. This is again the rest of the interior. Not a whole lot complete in here, and what is complete is utterly terrible. I'm not even gonna lie. The command center is okay. That's the secondary bridge. But basically it's supposed to be a very scaled down big version of my black ship that we are currently in. Like I said, it got recolored, the ones in here, but I'm going to go ahead and rebuild the old one, and then I can spawn them other places in the ship. Right here, these are the originals. I want to leave these, and I'll recolor them eventually after I'm done doing the rest of the ship. But basically, up here is the bridge. This is what the inside of the bridge looks like. It's got these horns on the front, just like the rest of my ships have nowadays. The big black ship and the new bridge that I just built to be like a larger version of it. Yeah. So there's the command throne, which is beautiful looking. Oh, it's bad in here. And then to get up to the bridge, of course, there's ladders and a slime block jump thing because I ran out of space and didn't know how to build. So we're gonna fix that today too. Some pretty bad wall designs. The stairs this way are completely atrocious. Head hitting stairs pretty much in that corridor, and then whatever that is, random exits to more parts of the ship, and this really should be more like a middle spot, but nope. I build go down again. That's great. And then more terribleness down here. One piece I've added is whatever this is, some kind of transport tunnel for mine carts to take this stuff away. Again, it's wow, bad. So I think we'll go ahead and get out of that completely. And then we got some major issues back here, like these external walls that go past the thrusters. I kind of like them. I'm mostly hating them, especially this one little edge here that doesn't need to be here. That bugs me a lot. Another thing that really bugs me a lot that I can't stop thinking about every night when I go to bed are these damn things that just hold the thrusters away from the ship so they get no fuel supply at all, which is definitely what you want thrusters to be doing. So I need to rebuild like this whole back of the ship. Also, the command decks here are floating above nothingness. They're not bracketed in. There's nothing. Yeah. Turrets are non-existent. The underneath of the ship is missing completely. The horns that are supposed to adorn the top of the ship are non-existent. Everything is missing. There's no shield generators. I could make a list and go on and on. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to entirely rebuild this thing. So I pulled one out. And I will head there now. But basically I got to add more greebling to it because it's got 0. And then we've got to kind of go from there. I did a little piece off camera trying to add one of these wings to it. I really like these, and I'm going to continue doing these a lot on the black ship. So I started messing around with one on the red ship. That's where I got the idea for the stream today. So I was playing around with that. Also, these are old fighter designs. We're no longer using these. I want to get rid of these as soon as possible. It might be first order of business, honestly. Makes the whole thing look tiny. Okay, so this is the color it should be. Should be this red, and then up near the bridge it should be like fully red. What I'm thinking of doing is seeing if we have other red and like dark red blocks, and we're gonna actually do some new scattering for those on this version. I'll show you over here. This is what I made for that little wing section off the back, and I think that this will give a nice curve to this back end, and then we'll use that to slope down and basically bracket into the top of this thruster. This thruster needs a redesign as well, but I'm mostly happy with it. It's supposed to be the warp space jump, or the light speed increaser. So we're going to use this, and basically it's used as like a massive suck, and then it really pushes all of the space that it just sucked in out. So we'll pretty much keep the design similar, but we're going to change quite a bit in there as well. Another thing I did on this build is I tried to do some of the interior work. The interior work is entirely shoddy at best. I'm going to entirely eliminate it and start over. So I think that'll actually be where we start today, is tearing everything out of this ship and making it actually look not bad. So let's start with that first. So first thing first, I gotta get rid of these pillars. Oh boy, there's actually a lot more layers to this than I thought there were. Okay, let's go to like that. Okay, let's leave that there. So I'm thinking I'm just going to do like half of this ship. So we'll start here. Go ahead. Okay. Okay. And then I think we'll literally you know what? I'm going to grab minecart. So I don't have to actually sprint down this whole thing. Okay. Let's go ahead and do /s set air. Fantastic. One less ugly thing. Okay. And then we'll take this. Okay, let's do this. Alright, that's most of it. And then we'll just finish up these last couple of pieces. Of course, there's a command block that we can't do anything with. That's fantastic. That is now something I keep in my inventory, apparently. Awesome. Yeah, I realized once I started doing that, I didn't need to do it that way. Okay. Not used to using tools to get rid of stuff on creative. I usually just, I'm a builder, not a destroyer, but weird. Wow, that feels so foreign. All right. The next step. Okay. All right, so let's do I used quite a bit of cyan terracotta. Why are these still here? Yeah, why is that still there? I don't understand. Okay. Let's go ahead and do dark oak slabs. Let's do light blue wool.
No.
Light gray concrete powder. Redstone. Sticky piston. Repeater. Redstone torch. Doesn't match. Okay, fine. Okay. I think that is pretty much it. Okay. And I already forgot. I'm just doing the middle. Just doing half a ship. Don't care about the hole. I'll fix that later. You know what? Let's just go around like this. And then we can go like that. Okay. Good stuff. All right. So I think that is pretty much that. So I'm going to come down really far over here on the side. And I didn't do the front of the ship's interior, but that's okay. I can do that later. Honestly, I think I really only built on the one side anyways. Okay. Copy / flip west. Paste. Okay. And then we're going to do / replace red nether bricks and nether bricks with red nether bricks, nether bricks, crimson planks, mangrove planks, red terracotta. Boom. Should be like a lighter red, yeah. Okay, that is sweet. We are going to go ahead and keep that. Okay, that is pretty good texture. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy paste that again as well. Yeah, a little bit more camouflagey too. Awesome. Good stuff. This is the true test. Maybe a little too conflicting. Maybe get rid of the nether bricks entirely. But red terracotta is kind of orangey, eh? Let's just do crimson planks and mangrove planks. No. That is almost objectively worse. What is it? That's not even a recolored payment. Let's do red nether bricks. Yeah, I think we're actually just gonna stick with the red nether bricks on the whole thing. Not even do pattern. Cool. Yeah, that's almost a lot better. Okay. Let me just make sure there's no other red blocks that we could use. I don't see any. Okay. Good stuff. Okay. And just like every good build that I do that involves spaceships and bridges, we are going to start with the bridge and completely dismantle every crapping thing I've done. Because this is stupid. This is all bad. All really, really bad. I did not know how to build. Still did an okay job, but I definitely could have done about 300 times better. So I'm going to do that 300 times better with this build now. Sometimes it just takes fresh perspective, and sometimes it takes learning to be able to do what needs to be done. And a lot needs to be done here. This was really hard to look at anymore. It was impressive a few years ago, but now with all the other projects I've done, it's just become this eyesore, honestly. And it is also important to remember that you are your biggest critic. I'm sure this build is not actually atrocious to some people, but it is to me. Let's see. Alright, next thing we're doing is I'm putting down the rough idea of where the stairs are going to come up and be a part of. Okay. Alright, let's use polished deep slate for the stairs. And I do think that if we somehow could pull the stairs like away from here. Let's try this. You know what, so I remember to smooth it out later. Let's use, yeah, my new favorite building block. And again, this is a little bit of a smaller build, so we will have to make a couple of concessions. Like, it will still feel a little bit cramped on the inside. Only because I'm not fully rebuilding this, I am just making it fresh, basically. So, keep that in mind while we go. That things can't exactly be a ton better, but they need to be a lot better. Let's see. Let's do something like that, and then let's take okay, fantastic. We're getting close. Okay. We're right around that 30-minute mark. And I'm forgetting that this is a very small build. Okay. My fault. All right. So. Okay. And then let's go ahead and wrap up the outside of this. Okay. go ahead and do that. Okay. So. There we go. Alright. And then we just need to bump out this. Yeah, I thought I had a little bit more room there. I don't. Okay. No worries. Let's go ahead and just... do this. All right. Ah. Let's see. Okay. Okay, and we'll take a step back and see what we've done here. Good little band-aid. Okay. Yeah, that seems to have done what we needed to do. Now let's see the inside. Let's see how we did. Okay. Alrighty. So.
What?
Oh, you're good. Alright. So everything's wrapped up here. We're going to have to put some kind of railing up here. Let's see what we got. Probably blue, so it contradicts what's going on up here already. I like those, and I like watching these deteriorate into the blue. These are a better blue, I think. Yeah. Okay. So that's that. We'll do a large throne kind of here. And then do some kind of walkway off of it. Fantastic, and that way he can see the sky above and below. Perfect. Okay, so that's part one pretty much complete. Let me go ahead and copy paste this so we can get an idea of what we're working with now. Let's go do that. Let's see, lots of white. Okay, perfect. That is a good band-aid then. We've definitely fixed up a good amount of this stuff. And then just some last minute touches. Let's go ahead and make that spine on the bottom a little bit more aware. And yeah, we've now heavily modified the shape of the neck for the bridge. And I definitely realized that I probably put the bridge up too high. But I don't think it would look right going down anymore. This is only like 5 blocks up, really. 6. So I think we're doing okay there as well. Yeah, this is looking fantastic so far. See, and that already has eliminated the need for what do you call it? What do you call it? Yeah. Oh, the need for ladders. I already need no ladders, which is great. So I am very enthusiastic about that. The next thing is we are going to need a throne room for our commanders. And I'm thinking we'll stick very similar to what we do in the big black ship, although I don't want to make it quite as grand because, well, there's not going to be as important people on these as there will be on the black ship. I think now is a good time to also get into some lore behind this ship. So, in the universe that I'm creating, there's a character named Equinox, who's one of the main characters of the storylines. And essentially, before he exists in the universe itself, he is a god in a dimension known as the heavens. In there, while he's there, he sends down basically scripture saying that he needs these built for when he arrives. And when he does eventually arrive, these ships basically just appear at where they need to be, because he told them several thousand years in advance, if not more. So, and they're flown by people that are native to a few planets in some very desolate galaxies that don't have a whole lot of other star systems within them that hold intelligent life. So they've kind of gone under the radar, so to say. And essentially, they carve these out of big mountains underneath the terrain of that world. And the black ship especially is done that way, but that one is not ready by the time that he arrives, as there's several pieces of technology that they were waiting on for him to physically create in the universe. So they did not exist when they were developing. But the entire exoskeleton was created beforehand. For these, there's no neutron stars or anything that are powering the thrusters. We'll get into that in a bit. Maybe the next building session. So he doesn't need to create anything like that for this ship to be a thing. I don't know what I'm going to do for shield generators on this, because technically he develops his version of the shield generators. They may have to use the Urchin ones, which I have not built yet. And I don't know really what they would look like for ships. I know what they look like for... for the airlocks in the hangar bays. So we will definitely use those there, which I believe, yep, I already have. Basically, it comes from the outside in. I might be able to do some glass work to show that, but I also likely will not be able to capture that in essence. So we'll figure that out as well. I do think that I am probably going to end stream pretty soon, as it has been almost an hour and we have gotten very little done, but enough done that I'm creatively spent. So I think that I will give this a little fly through and maybe replace the cobblestone with polished diorite, this big enough for a room? It is technically big enough for a room. 3 tall. But I don't like doing that. So. Let me... Oh, fantastic. This goes down quite a bit further than I thought it did. Okay. Fantastic. Yeah. We'll do something like this for these. We'll get rid of this. Or we'll put decking in here. And have that throne. I like this shape. I'm thinking about just replicating that shape over here. Because I don't think there's a way to get those stairs over there. But maybe I'll try that first. Let's make this really ugly, but something that I'll remember. But maybe... maybe something like this. And then I'm thinking we'll just literally pull that to there. Yeah, no, this is bad. Okay. So definitely don't do that. Fantastic. I had a feeling it would be bad. Okay. So maybe I'll just do what I was going to do originally and bring it just down like this. And then we'll just make that space back there like a top secret confidential area and kind of push the throne up like that. And then literally keep it about that far off the ground and have a platform that goes Alright. Maybe even do some kind of arch there. I kind of like that. And then we'll set the throne. Hell, maybe even far back. Yeah. Okay. I kind of like that. We'll go for something kind of like that in the future for the throne. But yeah, I think that's going to be where I'm going to head off tonight. And I hope you enjoyed. And goodbye.